Welcome everybody. Week 3, March 15th. This is the third week of March. We are going to have 5 weeks this month for Wednesday. So we're going to have a bonus episode. And to find those bonus episodes, you can actually go to help down here on our dashboard and just put welcome. New to Lifecycle Insights is welcome. And then week 5 bonus episode is scheduler and report builder, and then the bonus episode, quality QBRs quick. This week we're talking about all about assessments. We talked about data cleanup week 1, building a budget week 2, and assessments are basically there for you to use as much as you guys need. We do offer this for free with our packages, and you can use them as many times as you want for prospecting, for doing assessments, different kinds of assessments like security awareness, the one powered by Fifth Wall for cyber insurance policies and all that good stuff. Just a little bit more housekeeping. I will be at ASCII next week. I don't know who's going to run this call because it's going to be me and Alex, but I'm hoping Casey can run all about recommendations next week, and hopefully that works out well. Either that or it's going to be Marnie. We'll see what happens. Secondly, as far as cleanup is concerned, if you guys look by your name up here and you still have more things on your onboarding checklist, please feel free to make sure that those onboarding checklists are completed, and that would just help you help you automize and get everything neatly for your business reviews. We also have new things to happen in LCI. So what's new with Lifecycle Insights? That bell right there. We had a quick update with new release items, refreshing tables. So if you've seen that your asset list looks a lot cleaner without any lines, it's because that's the refreshing of that. And then we can now upload Excel files into Report Locker, and status is now a column filter option for the asset ad hoc, which is located. Just let me exit out here, which is located right here on the MSP reports asset ad hoc. All right, so we're going to jump into assessments today, and what we're going to cover is we're going to create, which is a build an assessment. We're going to score, fill one out, scoring the assessment, and we're going to act, analyze a score, take action, and show you more other things within that assessment piece. Why are we building and performing assessments? 1, to show risk. 2, to show improvement. So you can actually give your clients a story between, hey, this is where we started, this is where we're at, or this is where I can where we can be at within 6 months if you just sign with me and all that good stuff. And then 3 is to drive sales. That's the driving sales, closing that account and all that good stuff. We are not a sales tool per se, but you can use these assessments and our software to build a sales conversation for your account teams and all that good stuff. Any questions so far before I really dive into assessments real quick? No questions, concerns, emotional outbursts. It's recorded now, so all right. So we're diving into assessments real quick. All right. So I'm going to show you guys assessment templates and manage assessment items. These assessment items are basically just for your all the questions you have on assessments. I have 2,118 rows because we've used this as a platform, as a demo to actually build and add more assessments for you guys. So it shouldn't be that much, but this is where you can actually make changes to assessment items within your assessment templates. Same kind of screen, but this one is just more of the templates than it is the items itself. When you do sign up with us, you do get a library worth of assessments. Our more popular ones is the cyber insurance preparation powered by Fifth Wall. They aggregated 42 plus assessments from different cyber insurance companies, and then made an assessment format for us. This actually, this is, for you guys to use to make sure that your clients and or your partners are cyber insurable or cyber insurance ready. Please use that. This is a free tool for you guys and whatnot. SysV8, definitely very popular. CMMC 2.0 level 1, level 2. We have HIPAA Security 2022 there. Our more popular ones, LCI default assessment, so you guys can start off somewhere. The maturity model risk assessment, security risk assessment is there as well for you. That that gives an assessment to your more mature clients that have been with you for a while. And then the pre-sales assessment, just as a baseline to see if they're actually part or at your status quo, or so you can show them risk and all that good stuff. I'm going to dig into one of these. I'm going to do the Marks test assessment for video. I just created this just to show you guys in this format what good would actually look like on a template. So I'm going to dig in. I have categories here. I'm going to collapse all the categories so you can see advanced cyber protection, continuity operations. You can actually change all that in the template section. You can do the layout view. So you can change, do you want advanced cyber protections first before continuity operations? So you can actually drag and drop. Then you can change this from if you want DNS security filtering up before data encryption. I'm going to go back to form view real quick and show you guys and expand all categories. From here, I have data encryption, data retention policy, and I will expand these answers. So you can see I can actually add responses and whatnot. And this is the example that I want to show you. On this one, I created a property section where this is a conversation for a contact, how to score this conversation for this contact. Mark this green if this company has a data retention policy updated in the last 12 months, and they shared the policy with their IT. Mark this yellow if has data retention policy but haven't updated or shared it. And mark this red if no policy exists. So from here, as you can see, I only have 2, red and green right here. So I'm going to add a response because what my how to score is, that's my standard. So I can give this to my account manager and he'll be able to, or they'll be able to have a conversation with that point of contact and score this properly because I already laid it out for them. So I'm going to add a response, and that response is going to be needs attention. The needs attention would be has data retention policy, but is not shared. So I'm gonna show you guys what good looks like so you guys can actually see if I'm going to make this as a policy or if I'm going to make this as an assessment. I'm going to make sure that all the answers have a certain way of all the questions have a certain way of getting answered. The explanation remediation tips is if you mark this anything other than green, then please add a comment recommending a project or recommending something that would make this green. So basically, this is where your account managers will have the ability to give an explanation of why this score was not a yellow or a red and what's the remediation process to get it to green from those colors. Most of the time I see server racks in these pictures, so you can actually add a picture on here or even link a documentation piece, especially where your documentation lies. If you have IT Glue, great documentation platform there, so you can actually link to that. Like I said, most of the time I see server racks here. So somebody will take a picture of the server or what it's supposed to look like, mark it green if it looks like that, mark it yellow if it's missing some lights, or mark it red if it actually does not look like what it actually is supposed to. So that is what the items are made for into the template. And just to give you guys basically a good status quo, a good baseline to actually teach and make your, give a learning example for your techs, for your account managers, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to save this, and then I'll delete that later so that I can show it again next month. It'd be great. So you can also import from CSV. So if you already have a platform that, or if you're already using something else for an assessment platform, you can import those questions and answers and responses into CSV format into our platform, or you can add new. Most of the time I add new. I love making these It gives me a sense of like I can, like it's like I'm a dungeon master, and I get to build you guys what's that called? Those books like oh man, where you get to choose a path and all that good stuff. It's crazy.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Something. That's an emotional outburst. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I give you guys a way to get through the whole spiel. It's awesome. Do we have any questions on the templates on how to create and build your own and whatnot before I move on to actually answering?
Mark, the one thing I'll say is it looks like what you brought up looks significantly different than the couple of templates I've been using. And I will admit I haven't really gone into a lot. I found the ones I liked at the start, and I've kind of stuck with those. But I see a lot more variety there. Are some of those new features, or are the templates just that significantly different that maybe I should explore a little more?
Some of the templates are way different. The SysV8 is definitely a more complete template for you guys to use, but that's technically just for security. The LCI default template that you probably have used is definitely bare bones, because each MSP is different as far as what you guys are looking for. So I'm going to dig into LCI default assessment real quick. So this one, it's bare bones. We don't include any we don't include any properties. This one I just marked, but the other ones will be blank. So between you and Steve's MSP, your power management might be different as far as what your policy states. That's why we keep it bare bones, is that for you guys to actually create this, to fit it into your MSP, and this is your actual assessment. If you have, I have some that's already completed and more, I guess, more robust as far as, hey, score this yellow, score this green, score this red. But if you, for example, if you don't use that that category, then it's it's really you'll just have to delete that and whatnot. But is that what you're using?
Absolutely.
Okay. But here's my other thing. Here's my suggestion for you, John. Get your whole team and run the assessment on yourselves. So one of the best recommendation I have for you is to go ahead and run this, this assessment, this LCI default assessment versus your own one stack to your team, to actually gain more insight on, hey, am I asking this question correctly? And then your whole team would actually, give you feedback and say, you know what, I think that word looks too advanced for our for our clients, or, we need to really, and I wouldn't say it this way to people, we need to dumb it down, to get that, and then have a way to actually and go ahead and write the policy on it, or write the actual baseline for this, and say, hey, if we're going to run this, we all have to make sure that red is this, green is this, yellow is this. So we have an accordance that if I give this to the client and you give this to the client, we're going to answer the same red if they are in red. So get that baseline, get that strained out. If you need help with that, hey, give us a holler. We'll run you through that. I've been through a lot more assessments than I could really care for. It feels like my whole life has been an assessment. Like I'm looking at my past choices now, and I can pretty much give you, hey, this should be talked with your techs, see what they think. This should be account management. This should be customer facing and all that good stuff. So, make sense to everybody? Good question, John. Good insight as far as the ones that you've been using. So, anybody else? All right, let's go ahead and score one.
Quick question for you while you're switching screens.
Sure.
Would this be something that you ran Like when you go out and do like a site survey for a new client, does it run well on like an iPad or kind of thing where you could like
Yeah.
walk around and answer the questions as you go along?
Yep. We are mobile friendly. We don't share that in our website, but that is actually one thing I told our devs. I told our CEO, hey, we need to put this on there because you can actually run this on an iPad, and it runs well. Now, it might be a little bit more difficult if you're, let's say, I'm going to go ahead and add new, and I'm going to go to the one that test assessment. Real quick, always start with a baseline with them. If they've already had an assessment, then sure, don't do a baseline, but your baseline is your status quo. This is where your level is at. So please start with a baseline as far as assessments is concerned. Okay, so from here, this is mobile friendly. You can actually just press and say, oh, you know what, data encryption is at risk, or data retention policy is at risk, because of the two are connected. When you're writing comments, that's probably the most difficult one when you're using a tablet. So when you're using a tablet, the screen cuts off in half because the letters will have to come up and whatnot. So if you add public comments or private comments, then you'll have an issue. I would say a laptop is fine. If you have one of those Surface tablets, that Surface Pro tablet computer, whatever, that folds and all that good stuff, those are great because you can actually just write comments and whatnot, and it would actually come up as text and whatnot for you. Public comments can be seen by your clients. Was that a good answer for you, Dan?
No, it was great. Thank you.
Oh, when he said no, I was like, what? I gotcha. Awesome. So when you write a public comment, it can be seen by your clients. So please be sure not to include degrading comments in the public comments. So that can also be possible if you add private comments. The private comments is for you and your team. But if you give access to your clients on this platform and they're allowed to see that private comment, yeah. So just as a fair warning, please don't add anything on there that's going to make you look bad and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and answer this. As soon as I answer, you can actually create a PSA ticket. This actually works well as if you have if you want to get work started on the data advanced cybersecurity protections on data encryption. So you can actually create a PSA ticket and get it to the right service board as far as, is this professional services? Is this a sales thing? Is this for techs and all that good stuff? Make sure you select the status, select the type. Well, let's just go with account management. Select the type it is, break fix server or whatnot. This is a new ticket. Title summary and then initial description. You can actually type more things to this and then save and return. I don't want to save that because our ticketing is weird because this is a demo site. So please, if you're going to do that, make sure you save and whatnot. From here, so I've answered that. Let me answer a couple more. Let's put needs attention. Needs attention. This one's satisfactory, and then at risk. I want to tell a story. That's why it's all at risk. So most of the time, this won't be at risk. This is just for time's sake. So as soon as I answer those, it actually saves immediately. So they scored an abysmal 24% on their test. This is the form view. This is the summary view. The summary view is typically what you'll show to your clients on a business review type of format. And then an item detail. Item detail is where you can actually see comments, recommendations, why they're at risk, what the responses were, what the item was, and the scoring instructions for it. So from here, you can actually create a recommendation with the at risk or needs attention type. And this populated as soon as I clicked on those. And this is just a recommendation where you can actually link assets and link assessment items for it. We will talk more about recommendations next week. That is the whole time for recommendations for new to lifecycle insights. But I just wanted to show you where to build that from here.
Mark, real quick, one
Yeah,
thing
go
I
for it.
want to mention is you said, oh, you can click on the nice green button at the top. That's assuming that you have an LCI integrated PSA.
Yes. Thank you.
So-
Thank you, Steve. Yeah. An LCI integrated PSA. We're currently, we have Autotask, ConnectWise. We're working on other ones. I believe Hoodoo and IT Glue is next. As far as ticketing, I'm not sure which one is next. Alex was talking more about it earlier when I was on a call with him. But we're just, yeah, as we grow, as we progress, we did hire a new dev. So hopefully this new dev will make a lot of quality of life changes for everybody and make it quickly for, yeah, just to get all these other roadmap items going. Good insight on that. All right, so let's say it's been a couple months and you're ready to go back into this company, Creative Designs, and you want to show them a comparison assessment. So we're doing the same assessment to them. It's been, let's say it's already June. I'm just going to add a comparison event right here. I'm going to add public comments or private comments if you want to. This is now a comparison event. Of course, the date's going to change. Let's say June 16th. I'm going to add it. And from here, you can see the past responses that I've had and where I got them because it's been a while. Let's say this one's acceptable risk now. This one's satisfactory. Everything else is a satisfactory now because we've done the work. And I wouldn't say, you know, they spent the money, but that's what they did. They spent the money. They were receptive to your recommendations. They were receptive to all the things that needed changing. So they are now a good 95% on that assessment. From here, you can actually show them a comparison view of the two assessments that you've given them. Hey, Mr. Customer, Mr. Creative Designs, you were at 24% when we started in March. Because you were receptive to my recommendations, because you've spent the money, because we made sure that everything else, like the work that you've done to secure MFA, you know, the cyber protections that we've implemented as far as our policy was concerned, you are now at a 95%. You can show them growth. You can show them a story of where they're at. This can also be used as a pre-sales tool and say, hey, Mr. Creative Designs, you scored a 24%. If you sign with me within 6 months or within a year, I can get you to 95 because we're going to change all these things. So if you're willing to get up to my status quo, then I can get you there. I can get you to 95%. Or this could be that other conversation and say, hey, Mr. Creative Designs, I know that you're a prospect, you know, and I know this is a pre-sales assessment. You're at 24%. I don't think this is a good fit. We're not going to work out because this is where my status quo is. This is where my standards lie. And you're right here and you're not willing to move up. Until you're willing to move up, then we can have that conversation and say, you know what? Then we can sign you as a partner. I can sign you as a client and we can have this, we can move you along towards this advanced cyber protection that I assessed you with. And that could be the other conversation.
More question.
Yeah.
On the comparison feature, is that available for VCIO subscribed clients? Or
yeah.
But what about for assessment only clients?
Yeah.
You can do it on both?
Yep. You just have to run a comparison of that same assessment for that same client.
Sure.
So I can't, for example, I'll show you the assessment events. I can't use this comparison to a March bootcamp assessment that was done on a baseline that year because it's not the same assessment. But like I said, this assessment platform is free. You can use it to as many clients as you want. You can use it multiple times for that client if need be. So,
okay.
So if you're prospecting and this prospecting took 6 months to even a year, you can show them the growth and say, hey, every time we've met, I've done an assessment for your environment. And this is where you've grown, but this is where my standard still lies. So until you can get there, you know, it might not be a good fit, but we can keep talking. I can keep assessing you. And if push comes to shove, really, guys, I would charge for an assessment. That's just me. That's, you know, my take. If need be, I would charge for it, because this is hours worked for you and whatnot, and hours that you will have to work and do these assessments for those prospects. And if they're willing to sign with you, they're willing to pay. So yeah, that's just my take. Hot take. I'll make sure I erase that on the video. We'll see what happens. Any questions, concerns on that? I know we're almost at 30 minutes. I've talked about assessments. I talked about, let's see, what else do I need to talk about in assessments? You can use analytics by customer or all customers. I can show you this real quick. So analytics by all customers basically shows you, depending on what assessment template, on where your customers or where your clients lie. So I'm going to use the LCI default assessment for all the assessments, and you can see which company, and I'll swap the rows and columns because it's easier. So my creative design company, they're at risk for power management, workstation servers, all that good stuff. From here, you can actually tell between your account managers on whoever gave this assessment, you can actually tell which assessment piece actually is lacking. So you can say asset inventory is lacking for all my customers. Why is that? Are we giving them an asset inventory type of software that actually inventories their assets manually, or I mean automatically? So is that something that we're missing? Spare device inventory at risk at Wayne Enterprises. Is it because, you know, you can track this because this is your assessment, and why most of your clients are at risk or whatnot? Is it because of you, or is it because of this is the actual type of client that you're looking for? You can use this as a mini stack alignment type of. We have that, right? Yeah, a simple stack alignment assessment. So for example, I'm going to switch. Nope, yeah, that's a right view. So for example, I have these companies, and this is my stack one, simple stack one. This one's satisfactory. What's happening with people are us. Why do I need attention for Get Well Medical and then Hogwarts? This one, stack two, needs attention at risk, means that we are failing at giving our stack two to everybody. Only one, people are us, actually has it, and why is this stack not doing well? And then stack three, oh man, stack three is doing well, doing better, or stack five is doing better because we've sold that to all our clients. Why is people are us not buying stack three from us? Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah, like you can use this as a stack type of assessment.
Mark, how is that going to, and you know my passion with the CS module, so
Mhm.
I'll just start there.
Oh no, this does not compare to CS. This just gives you CS is more well built for stack alignment than
Okay.
this is. This is just, hey, you can use this for stack alignment if you want to.
Okay,
Don't have, yeah.
yeah, that's
So.
that's what I was getting at, because
Yeah.
there's replication between CS and for those who don't know, since you're probably newer than I am, that's their customer success module, which is coming out with a major update on Friday. I'm even doing the plugs now, Mark. That's scary.
That was my whole purpose, Steve. Thank you for joining us. Steve is going to plug everything Lifecycle Insights. I love it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut the recording and stop.